You're listening to the AI Moment with me, Jonathan Wagstaffe.
And me, Danny Denhard.
Dan, today we're going to talk about the importance of moats in business and which moats are under threat from the emergence of AI. And for those that don't know, probably most of the people listening will understand the concept of the moat. The first person I heard talk about it was Warren Buffett, the famous American investor. And what he's really saying with a moat is he's saying, if you look at your business, what elements of your business make it very difficult for somebody to copy or emulate, and therefore they help your competitiveness because it's very difficult for somebody to go and copy you, and therefore it gives you a commercially advantageous position. And interestingly, I was talking to a director of a global enterprise business a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying they'd just come out of an exec exercise where the executive has spent about 5 days in a room talking about, right, with the emergence of AI now and what's looking likely it's going to happen with Agentic, etc., where will our moat be in a year or two's time? Where is it now? And what's under threat from AI? What is the advantage of AI? And therefore, how would that moat reshape in the next couple of years? And his position to me at the time was, we're pretty confident now we've discovered it. We didn't have it 2 weeks ago, but we're pretty confident we've worked out where our defensible position is, even in the world of AI, which is quite interesting to listen to. What do you think, Dan? What are you seeing?
Yeah, there's typically 5 moats. There's network effects, economies of scale, brand moat, which is probably arguably the most important for most companies, IP, and data. So these are all very specific moats. Often they're connected, often they're not so much. What most people have suggested is AI erodes the shallow moats really quickly. So feature parity, anything that you can copy with a click. So anywhere there's code, it can be copied. And most people are suggesting these advantages won't last. So I've gone deep into this one because of my geekiness around strategy and around moats themselves. So shall I give a couple of opinions and see how they land with you, Jonathan?
Go for it. Go for it.
So I actually think data is a really important moat, not only because you have your own proprietary data and typically you know how good or high quality it is. If it's continuously refreshed, easily accessible, actionable, and non-fragile, as in it doesn't break, or as long as you can update it often, the AI world can't necessarily get hold of it. Yes, it can scrape at mass, but your own data and what you do with it is under your control. So it's going to be still going to be challenging for people to copy it, especially competitors, especially if you're super large. How's that landed with you? Do you think data is a difficult one to copy or kill?
I agree. I mean, we've both seen that for lots of organizations, their data is not all in the kind of shape they want it to be in. For those organizations who have got data in good shape and they've got a proprietary data set and they're using it in some kind of internal ecosystem that's quite bespoke to them, I think that is a very strong differentiator for them and a very defendable position in an AI disrupted world. So I would agree with that, Dan.
Especially with synthetic data now being used to train models hyper aggressively. So
You bet.
shall I jump onto take on brand?
Go for it. Go for it.
I think brand on its own is fragile. So I do think many people are brands. They don't have a brand. They are just a series of products that they push out and they probably do paid ads on. But if you know a brand and you trust them, you're going to use them time and time again. And if it's something can be copied and they can reproduce a lookalike very quickly, you should double down and triple down on what makes you you. And agentically, it's going to be very difficult to copy or replicate or give someone a feel to go back to your brand. So unless you're not really building out that brand, it's going to be very challenging. Therefore, I think brand is probably going to be one of the most important signals for AI and for companies moving forward. How do you think about that one?
I mean, I've always argued that brand is a shortcut to trust. So as we've talked about many times, and a lot of people know, it's one of my big opinions, is that trust is the key emotion in this century. We have to feel sufficient trust, particularly online. If we're going to deal with somebody and give them our money for a product, we have to trust them. And brand is really a shortcut way to say, if you go to McDonald's, you know what you're getting. You know exactly what kind of food it is and how it's going to come and how quick and what it's going to taste like. Go to Apple, you know the products you're buying, etc. So a brand is a shortcut way to saying you can trust that these things will happen if you buy this brand. Otherwise, for the rest of us, we've got to build that trust through our engagement with people, our marketing and our sales activity and our engagement activity. So I think those brands like that, as you say, you can come at somebody like Apple with a product and an AI-driven approach, and you will get some advantage, but you can't be Apple. So until you can build a similar brand, I think you're right. I think brand is a true brand is a differentiator in the world of AI.
It's still a reason why people go to Tesco's over Sainsbury's. There's still a reason why people choose to shop at Morrison's over Asda. There's a reason why upper and middle class people are going to Aldi and Lidl, because the product is good enough and they like it, and there's that brand feel around it. So I completely agree. I also think stickiness is a brand trait that a lot of people can't remove. So if you're habitual, or you've got habits, or there's high usage, those switching costs will be so high, your brand is in such a good position. I would definitely keep building brand and putting that at the center of what you're trying to achieve.
I was going to say, we all know people who will buy a certain brand. They won't research the product. If it's this thing I want to buy, I'm going to buy that brand. I always do. I love them. I trust them. So that's still going to be the case.
There's the network effects and scale that matters the most. So I think more users, more activity is something that we don't necessarily consider as much as we used to. And AI can't necessarily fake it. And network effects are going to be crucial when we move into multiplayer AI, not just single player. So the more likely we are to want to be part of communities, want to build our own, it's going to be something that's going to be incredibly important. And also it's going to be something that stands the test of time. Not only because you've got your friends, your family, community members, or neighbours, which is a popular use case for network effects. I think that's going to be critical. And if you've got a volume of customers and they bring their friends, family, and community to your product, it's going to be very hard to replicate, and it's going to be critically important that you bake that into your product. Likewise, I think that's a connected moat to brand. So that's probably what I think is the strongest moat that's available to most companies now.
I think that's the question. Therefore, I think for business leaders is not just can AI build what we do. I think it's flip that round and say, what about our position is genuinely hard to replace? And if that's just a few features in the product, then you're probably in trouble. But to your point, if that's a trusted proprietary data set or embedded workflows or network, or even switching costs, so then you can build your moat around those things that are genuinely hard to replace. And that's where you've got to look, I think, as you think about the future of your business, that's where you've got to look.
Definitely. And I'd say connect those moats together, and it's going to be really hard for anyone. So think about relationships, distribution, data loops and updates. It'd be like how much depth is in your workflow, how focused your domain expertise is, and how easy is it to start or stop momentum. And if you apply different voices and their expertise in that, it's going to be such a hard place for AI to replicate and steal what makes you unique and uniquely good.
I think what we arrive at, Dan, is actually there's a lot of cause for optimism. This is, I think, if I was standing in front of a chief exec now and asked to summarize, I'd say it's a real question. So not to be ignored as a question, because AI is disrupting moats all over the place. But if you've got a good solid business with some of the things we've talked about around data, around workflows, around network, then there's plenty of cause for optimism. It just needs some good thinking, good quality thinking from the leadership team to work out where the new moat is and how we're going to make that strong, really. That would be my advice.
Couldn't agree more.
Good to see you, my friend, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening today, everyone. If you liked what you heard, please give us a rating and review in any of the podcast players. We have a supporting newsletter, which is aimoment.co.uk, that comes out on Mondays and Fridays with every pod. And and we dive a little bit deeper. So please subscribe there. Have a great week, and we'll see you soon.